Good morning, everyone, and I want to welcome you to our presentation on IHUB.global. If you're new to this presentation, then let me be the first to say welcome to the future, because I think we're looking at something that is going to make a very, very bright future for those of us that recognize what's going on here and take action. IHUB Global, I truly believe, is an opportunity of a lifetime. Now, I know that's such a cliche phrase. So many people say that, but I can tell you as an entrepreneur and someone that's been involved for over 40 years in the networking and direct selling and business opportunity space, I have looked at a lot of things, and I've had the real blessing of having some great success in that arena. So I think I've got a pretty good sense of what is really something that's on the cutting edge of a major trend that's going to make some significant opportunities for us moving forward. And to introduce that, let me just play a little short 2-minute clip here to give you an intro into IHUB.global.
Welcome to IHUB and congratulations. You know what they say, you get one or two great opportunities in a lifetime. Well, I truly believe you are in front of one of those opportunities right now. The reason I say that is simple. It happened to me. Let me explain just a little. You're about to learn about cryptocurrency mining in the world of the Internet of Things, or the IoT network. A little perspective. The IoT is bigger than Wi-Fi. It's all the things that run off the internet, like appliances, security cameras, scooters, healthy devices, and on and on. And we, IHUB, has partnered with the largest IoT network in the world to grow it globally. We, meaning you and I, are now in a position to own the network. The IoT network is larger than any internet network or phone network on the planet. Owning networks is how wealth is created, and you're standing before it right now. So yes, I do believe this is an opportunity of a lifetime for me and for you. Listen, there is a lot of education for most of us with learning about blockchain, crypto mining, IoT network, and more. But trust me when I say it's as simple as plugging in an IHUB unit in your home or business and letting it earn for you in the network. After you join for free, you'll see real results in real time, earning big right now. At minimum, get your IHUB miner today. But if you're like me and want to own the network, you can build a legacy with the IHUB affiliate program. Time to get started. Join for free.
We are in the process of building the world's largest wireless network together, and we're doing it as part of the HELIUM network. Now, HELIUM is the name of the company that got its beginnings in 2013 as they recognized the future developing with this incredible global development of something called the Internet of Things. And we'll talk a little bit more about the details on that. But just so that you have some perspective, HELIUM is the name of the company. It is also the name of a cryptocurrency token that they created as part and parcel of what's necessary for this project that they're putting together. So let's go into a little bit about that. I want to share a little 3-minute video that HELIUM put together to give people a sense of what this project is all about.
We've all used Wi-Fi for stuff like this.
So adorable.
And cellular data for stuff like this.
Triaxolotl.
Every day we connect to the internet, but it's not just people. From parking meters to packages, even these damn scooters. All these things should connect to the internet. Even this dog. Well, not the dog, but its collar. Seems like this little guy's lost. Luckily, he's got a smart collar on. But that smart collar isn't so smart without the internet. Cellular data plans can be pricey. It's not like Sean could just log into this cafe's Wi-Fi real quick.
Hey, I like your dog.
Oh, it's not my dog. I'm just using him to demonstrate a point.
What's your point?
Glad you asked. Wouldn't it make sense for all of these things to have their own internet? A network that works just for them, so they could always stay connected anywhere, anytime. That's the kind of future I want to live in. And guess what? We can. With the HELIUM Hotspot.
Honey, who's that?
I'm the future.
It's, the future?
The HELIUM Hotspot's a new kind of wireless device, where you and your community can create a network for the Internet of Things.
So like a Wi-Fi router?
No, it's long-fi. It reaches 200 times farther.
But why would I?
Why would you put this in your house? Glad you asked. Well, you're helping to power a better future for the city you live in, building a community of connectivity, making all sorts of things possible that aren't today, like helping you find lost things.
Connecting to things that can tell you when your food's expired.
That is expired.
Even powering sensors that help detect wildfires, so people and their things can stay safe.
What else?
Isn't that enough? The whole thing about building a better future for your children and your children's children?
We don't have kids.
Well, for people who care about that sort of thing, you get rewarded helium tokens, a cryptocurrency as a thank you for building the network and enabling devices to connect. So any more questions?
Yeah, whose dog is this?
Yep.
See, when the Internet of Things gets better, everything gets better.
Even finding your dog. It's yours.
Sean, thank you. Come here, buddy. Oh, thank you.
With the Helium Hotspot, you're helping to create a more connected future.
What's helium?
So glad you asked.
Every day, we connect to the Internet. But it's not just people. So what else connects to the Internet?
I don't know.
I'm glad you asked.
Here we are talking about the IHUB miner, also known as the Helium Hotspot. We like to refer to it as a passive income generator. Let's take a look at it. The unit that we saw in the little video there was the original unit that was put together for the original proof of concept on this. The latest version of it's in a smaller package, about 4 inches by 3 inches by 2 inches, that you could put on a windowsill. This is the unit that we're doing now, basically the same device in a smaller, more powerful package. But let's talk about what this opportunity really represents for us. Well, first off, this is so powerful that it is really independent of what's going on with a lot of different actions happening in the world, whether or not there's COVID lockdowns or not COVID lockdowns, whether the economy is booming or whether it's receding. This isn't some kind of a network marketing program like you're used to. This is an affiliate program with a totally powerful affiliate compensation structure embedded in it. There's no recruiting that's required to do this. You can do really well with getting the unit and building a cluster of these units, as we'll be talking about. But like in that initial 2-minute presentation intro, if you're really looking to own a powerful piece of this network that's being built, then you can also avail yourself of sharing this information with customers and other affiliates. But there are like 0 monthly fees. There's no costs involved other than just the acquisition of one of these miners or more if you choose. These things are only operating at 5 watts, like a 5-watt LED light bulb, uses less than $1 worth of electricity a month to operate. And then these things basically are able to create these helium tokens 24/7, 365. It is totally amazing. And as the woman said in that video, that's a thank you for getting the device and increasing the network that's being built globally. But let me give you some perspective here. Let's talk for a minute about IoT, or the Internet of Things. When I first started looking at this helium project this past August, some 6 months ago or so, I had been vaguely familiar with the Internet of Things, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. And I certainly had no clue of the size of the market that it represented. I was pretty shocked to realize that even today, it was an $800 billion market worldwide, with some 8.4 billion devices already connected to the Internet. There are more of these Internet of Things devices connected to the Internet right now than there are people. But to the amazing perspective is that in the next 5 years, it's going to be over $2.4 trillion with over somewhere between 70 to 80 billion devices. So we are in the beginning of a massive, massive opportunity, an explosion, a huge trend that's happening out there in the world of business. And so what are these Internet of Things devices? Well, they are literally thousands and thousands of different applications. Like we saw in the video, there's the smart pet collars, there's smart parking meters, there's asset tracking. You can put on packages, you can put them on vehicles, you can put them on things that you want to keep track of. And there are literally thousands and thousands of use cases, and they're just happening and growing as fast as people can devote their creative activities and figuring out how to make things better, more cost effective, more profitable, more efficient. It's a very, very powerful thing. So let's talk a little bit about it. These devices are basically sensor devices that pass data. Now they need to pass that data to the internet where the applications that use that data can have access of it. And so in 2013, when Helium first came together, they recognized the explosive opportunity of creating the foundation for these Internet of Things devices to very seamlessly, very inexpensively be able to use this network they decided to build to be able to get their data to the internet. And then when we buy one of these units for $395 US, we're adding another node to this global wireless peer-to-peer network. It's a radio network that's using essentially radio frequencies in the UHF band, if you remember that from the older days when we used to have UHF antennas on our TV sets. But it's a higher frequency than FM, but it's within that safe range. It's far lower than 5G and things like that people have concern with. In fact, the very earliest wireless telephones that we had were in that frequency range that we're talking about. It's in around 923 megahertz. But this peer-to-peer network is basically designed to allow IoT devices that are within the vicinity, somewhere between a couple of miles and as far as 10 miles from where you are, to use your device to get data to the internet, where it can then be pulled down by the companies that have those applications that need that data for a fraction, much as 1/100th or less of the cost they would have to spend if they were doing it through cellular data plans, which many of them have to do right now. But the big question is what is in it for us? How is Helium getting us to buy these $395 devices to allow these internet data to get to the internet? Just like in the video where he said, what else does it do? And she goes, what, it's not enough to build a brighter future for your children and children's children? And he said, well, we don't have kids. And she said, well, then you get rewarded with Helium tokens as a thank you for helping to build the network. Well, that's basically the very, very genius of this whole concept, is that these devices, not only are they little miniature radio receiving and broadcasting stations, but they're also on the Helium blockchain, which was created specifically for this application. And as these units are communicating and handshaking with adjacent units in the area, it's actually creating these Helium tokens. And those Helium tokens are then needed by the companies that need to access the data. So they literally have to buy Helium tokens, convert it to what's called data credits that they're using to pay in real time in order to get their data from the internet. It's a very, very powerful ecosystem that is having profound adaptation and acceptance from the business community. So let's just talk for a minute about this process of mining this helium, because a lot of people try to get their head around that to understand it. But it's all based on something called proof of coverage, which is proving that we've added another physical device and added additional geography to this worldwide helium network. And as you'll see as we move forward here, generally speaking, there's some 23,000 of these units that are currently deployed in the United States, Canada, and Europe, soon to be coming to Asia and the rest of the world. But literally, we need tens of millions of these units to cover all the cities that need to be covered around the world. So we're just at the beginning, the forefront of this. But this proof of coverage is essentially units communicating to each other over the blockchain and witnessing various transactions and challenges and things that happen along those lines. And all those activities add helium to the blockchain that you get rewarded in as your unit creates it. And then later on, as the IoT data starts to migrate by the companies moving their IoT devices to this helium network, because it's way more effective and cost effective than anything else that's out there, then the data will also be creating helium as it moves through your device. Let's listen to a little bit about what the business community thinks about this whole idea. Well, in 2019, when these units first started being available to be purchased, in the late summer 2019, they started being shipped and received in December 2019. So we're only talking about 14 months or so since these first units started actually getting out there and being connected. But like this Time article said, they're referring to it as kind of like a miniature cell tower, but it's way more accurate to think about it as a miniature radio station, because it is a radio system, not a cellular system. Decrypt talked about how the original Napster, that if you remember, they were the first peer-to-peer music sharing program. Sean Fanning created it. He's one of the founders of Helium. You got Fortune magazine talking about major companies like Nestle and Lime that are moving their Internet of Things communication strategy to Helium. Fast Company talking about it being one of the most innovative technologies in 2020. It's a very, very powerful concept. But here's the reality. I mean, what's in it for us? That's what everybody wants to know. I mean, okay, plug this thing in, I hook it up to the internet. Why do I want to do that? Well, it's because it creates these helium tokens. And so when we started looking at it, we saw the value of the helium tokens, and we put some dollar values on that. And we saw that there were units earning as much as $200 a month to some that was wildly earning $200 a day. And it was like, what is up with that? Why is there such a big variance? And what we found out is it has to do with the density of the units in the area. That as more and more units are connecting to your unit, it's creating more and more helium in the witnessing of these other units as transactions. And so what we found is that you want to have a minimum cluster in your area of about 3 units to really start having these things start to create the helium. And what is the value of the helium? Well, right now, surprisingly today, helium hit $9 per token. Only been exchanging in the cryptocurrency exchanges for less than 8 months. And yet it's already hit $9 and it's rising. And it's projected, as we'll see, by Pick a Crypto, who did a full evaluation of it, that they projected before the end of 2020 for it to hit around the $5 to $10 mark, with it going to $40 by 2025. Well, it hit initially $4 in September 2020, and it hit $9 today. So that's definitely a high watermark on that. The fact that these units are generating these helium tokens is very, very powerful because of the ability of cryptocurrency to appreciate as things go. Now, it can also go down. Cryptocurrency can be cyclical, but generally it's cyclical with an up-moving trend. Now, I've been in the marketing business side of things for 40 years now, and I've heard it often said that I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. That's because of the idea of leverage. We only have 24 hours in a day. And if we can find a way of putting a team together, of leveraging the efforts of a group of people, then we can achieve a much greater business success than what we can do just on our own. Chuck Hansen likes to say, well, what about having 5, 10, 15% of hundreds or even thousands of people's efforts rather than 100% of your own? Well, that's what we have possible through IHUB Global. And it's something that's truly extraordinary and unique within the world of the helium community that's out there. And that's why we think this is such a phenomenal opportunity. So let's talk a little bit about this. What we've been able to accomplish by partnering with some of the most powerful companies that are involved in the helium space is the ability to distribute helium that's being mined by one of these units and share in that distribution. And that becomes the ability to leverage this mining opportunity. It's very, very powerful. Let's take a look at how it works. So let's just use an example of 100 helium tokens being mined, regardless of whatever length of time it takes to mine those, whether it's a week, whether it's a month, whether it's 2 months. Let's assume that over some period of time, 100 tokens are mined, and we're going to just use 100 because it's a nice round number. But 50% or 50 of those tokens is going to go to the owner of the unit, the person that spent the $395 for the unit. 10 of those tokens, or 10%, is going to go to the referrer, the person that reached out and shared this opportunity with somebody to get their own mining. And then we've got an additional 20% that's involved in different aspects based on various milestones of our affiliate program that also get paid out in there. And then we got 10% that's going to Helium's partners that provide infrastructure for us, and 10% to Helium itself to provide the additional infrastructure for the marketing operation we've put together. But I want to talk about this affiliate program because this is so incredibly powerful. I truly believe the most powerful affiliate program I've ever seen. So the way it works is you're going to be developing 4 separate teams in your Helium business. Now, first off, it is free to become an IHUB affiliate. There's no cost for it. You can join for no cost. The people that invited you to this presentation can give you their link. You can join. You can purchase your own unit, or you can also share the information with other individuals and earn off of their units, even if you haven't gotten your own unit yet. But you can also refer other affiliates. And the first 5 affiliates that you refer are going to create what we call your pro team. And the people in your pro team, as they buy their units, you're going to be receiving that 10% referral bonus on their unit. Now, once you get to your 6th affiliate, you begin building your bronze team. So your 6th through 15th affiliate comprise your bronze team. You're getting 15% on their units. You're getting the 10% plus an additional what we call bronze code. And then once you start your 16th person, now you're building your silver team between 16 and 25. You're now getting the 10% referrer plus the 5% bronze code and the 5% silver code on those individuals for a total of 20%. And then once you hit your 26 and above, you're now getting additionally your 5% gold code on there and having 25%. But as you'll see, it's representing a huge potential number of people for an incredibly massive opportunity. So let me give an example here. In this example, we're going to say that you shared this with 10 people that decided to become Helium affiliates. The first 5 people are going to be your pro team. The next 5 people are going to be part of your bronze team. When your bronze team starts to enroll their own first 5 people, and those first 5 people and so on for 4 iterations, refer their first 5 people, you're going to have a nice group of people. We're going to use that example of 50 helium a week. If you were to add up that 25, 125, 625, 3125, that would be 3,900 team members. Now, it's never exactly like that, but for one thing, they can enroll more than 5. The other thing is that there's no limit to it. The 3125 can get their 5, and that just keeps going on forever over any length of time. And you're going to essentially be getting 5% of the 2,600 helium tokens a year on every single unit that those first 5 people basically install. In this example, that 3,900 represents 507,000 tokens, which is amazing. I want to stop sharing the PowerPoint for a second here. What we're looking at here is these are every unit that's out there right now in the world. There are currently over 23,000 of these hotspots. There were 6,000 when I started looking at this in August. There were maybe a half a dozen spread out between the UK and Europe as test units back then, but they didn't start shipping over to Europe until the fall of 2020. Currently, right now, there's probably about 4,000 or 5,000 units in the UK and Europe. If we took a look over in Asia, you'd see there's just a handful of units there that were test units. We're going to start shipping to Southeast Asia in the summer coming up, so just in a few short months. But this is pretty amazing. And of course, a lot of these dots represent multiple dots, as you'll see when we home in on it. But I want to take a look at a couple of specific units here. So I'm going to take a look at a unit right now, and they've got these cool names. They basically are a random draw from 3 separate lists of words, but we're going to take a look at the quick walnut toad, and let's take a look at that particular hotspot. So what this is we're looking in live on the blockchain and seeing this actual unit. Now this unit is in a small town in Northeast Slovakia. Somebody was asking me to check out Slovakia. There was maybe a couple of dozen units in the whole country right now. And I found an area where it was a small town that only had 3 units. And I'm using this to show you the principle of having 3 units together and what's possible. Right now, we're looking at this unit here that's got the white radiating out. And you see this line connecting to another unit here. That means that it's interfacing with it. It's witnessing what's going on with that unit. And if we scroll down, we'll see that in the last 30 days, this unit has generated 123 helium tokens, just based on there being 3 units around. But let's take a look at this unit here. This unit here, as you'll see, is connecting with all 3 units. And let's see what this has done over the last 30 days. This has earned 209 units. So that's extraordinary in the possibility that's there. Now, what if that person was somebody you referred? What would you earn on that? You'd be getting 10% of that. So that means that you would be getting those 20.9 tokens if that was the person you referred off of their unit. So the person that bought the unit has earned more than what they paid for the unit just in a 30-day period. And so that's the possibility with having 3 units in an area. Let's take a look at another example here. Let's go over to the United States, and we're going to look at the daring blood lizard. Okay, so this one is in the Kansas City area in the United States. I was talking to a friend of mine there who lives there, and we wanted to take a look at what was going on in his area. And you'll see when this comes up that there's a larger number of units that is in that area that is able to be connected. And I just kind of picked one kind of in the center of a cluster. Well, this unit in the last 30 days has generated, 570 helium tokens. If you were the one that referred that person, you would have earned 57 helium tokens for the person that got that. Let's take a look at one last one. This one's going to be over in the London area. It's the strong sand chicken. Strong sand chicken. So this one is in the south of London, you'll see as it brings up the map. Okay, so here you can see the Thames, here's London. So this is in the midst of a bigger cluster. And this is also unique because it's connecting with units that are farther than 10 miles away. And I suspect that the reason that's happening is this unit is probably on a high floor of a high-rise building. So it's got a greater line of sight than somebody at a lower elevation. But look what this one is doing. This one has generated over 1,000 helium tokens in the last 30 days alone. 1,000 helium tokens. So if that was somebody that you referred, that would be 105 helium tokens. That's $900 right now at $9 a token. Just a month that you're getting from one person that you referred. How is it generating all that? Well, as I mentioned, it's getting mining rewards from being challenged, from witnessing, doing various different things to generate all these things. And it does that essentially in real time. This is just from today, these various different amounts of helium that it's generating. So I wanted to kind of give you a sense of that, but I want to just keep this in perspective. Everything in our lives is a reflection of the choices that we've made. Those choices have got us to where we are today. But if you want to get a different result in your life, you have to make a different choice. And I think the definitive word in that is you have to choose. You have to decide to take action to make something happen. And I think that right now, this is the greatest opportunity we have to make a choice that's going to have a huge impact in our financial futures. So thanks for taking a look at the presentation. Get back to whoever invited you to take a look at this and get your questions answered. Become a free IHUB affiliate, get your own miner, start taking advantage of this huge opportunity to earn these helium tokens and provide that opportunity for the people you really care about.